Radio Pulpit, 657 AM, your daily companion.
It's your daily companion indeed. We are about to wrap it up in no time, making way for Johan else. This afternoon on Radio Pulpit, we're going to wrap things up in the few minutes that we have left with Cindy Swambonambi, UIF practitioner. We'll be talking to her this afternoon. Cindy Swa, good afternoon. Thank you once again.
Good afternoon, Mpho. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank God today we can manage to be online.
So, I mean, you and I have been answering those, mostly asked questions when it comes to unemployment insurance fund. And, a lot of questions popping up, obviously, about delayments, right? Sometimes you are due to get your unemployment insurance fund, but it delays. Expand more on that and why that is the case. And of course, it's frustrating a lot of people.
Of course. We're heading for December, and obviously everyone wants to have a little something on their pocket to make sure that you take care of your family. But one thing that applicants are literally facing is the delayment when it comes to payment. But what they are overlooking is those delayments are caused by three factors that I'm going to mention. First is your employers who are not declaring you on time. And secondly is the errors the applicants are making when it comes to completing the applications and the UIF officials with the verification process and the back and forth. So let's start with the employers. If the employers didn't declare you while you were still employed, as soon as you go through these dark periods, your application is going to stop. It's going to be parked because UIF doesn't pay for what is not there. It's more like a pay as you earn. So if there's no money or you don't have credits, which they call it insufficient credits, there's nothing to pay you with. And when you find out that your employer was deducting this amount of 1% while you were still employed, and for you to check if your employer was compliant when it comes to UIF, you have to have a U-filing profile. A U-filing profile will allow you to go to a tab called Employment. As soon as you get to that tab, a drop-down button, you will see Get Declarations. All the employers that you have worked for will appear, and you can check which months were declared and which months were not declared. If you see red, it says no information. It means the employer did not submit your declarations. Therefore, UIF will be unable to pay you as soon as you submit the application for whatever benefit that you're applying for. So it's always best to know while you are still employed, which your employer did comply by submitting your contributions towards UIF, so that when you claim, be it maternity, paternity, adoption, unemployment, reduced work time, at least you must have enough credits for you to be able to withdraw when you submit your application. Let's go to the applicants. If the application is not completed correctly, if you didn't the UI-19 termination reason does not match what is on the U-filing profile or record for your employer, if your termination date does not match, it's a number of things. Therefore, your application will also drag.
Mm-hmm. And what's my response? Well, the responsibility in a sense, I remember you said freelancers don't qualify, but, the responsibility of employees, what should they be doing in order to meet, the process or everyone else halfway?
Okay, if the employee is applying for unemployment, you need your ID or a passport if you are a foreign national and you have documentations to be and work in South Africa. You will also need your UI-19. Make sure point 1.11 is completely filled by the authorized person. And then you need a UI 2.8, which you can get at the ABSA or Capitec ATM. You need your salary schedule, you need your service letter, as well as the registration that you are still a work seeker. This is for unemployment benefits. And if you are applying for maternity, for instance, you will need your ID or your passport as well. You need your UI 2.19, UI 2.8, salary schedule UI 2.7, UI 2.3, as well as the birth certificate if the baby has been born. So all those things we educate with them on our social media platform so that you know which documentation. The error that most applicants are making, as soon as there's an outstanding documentation or you're submitting documentations one by one, the UIF will say to you, they will need a UI 19. It means they have discovered a certain discrepancy from your previous employer. Some employer, what they do not terminate you on the U-filing system, but on the UI 19 and salary schedule you are terminated. Now it does not match across those. And then they will ask you to resubmit those documentations. You submit those documentations one by one. It is bound to cause delay on the application. I always say, if they ask you to submit a certain documentation, to be safe, rather submit the entire package so that when the assessor gets to your file, all the documentations are there.
Sure, yeah. So everybody, I suppose, plays a very vital role, in ensuring that at the end of the day, you get your machankuras. Maybe any other thing as we wrap up?
Okay, causes of the delay is the employers, because they have to also do the verification in terms of, are you the correct beneficiary? Are you applying for the correct benefit? Do you have sufficient credit? And all of those things. It's the little errors for that count. And again, I also tell them, please do not or avoid comparing cases. Your case and my case are different. You have a work history, I don't. You have been contributing a certain amount of money, I have contributed less. And don't listen to what other people are saying on the social media platforms, because they mislead each other. One will tell you, I got paid because my application was still sitting on this. Yes, there are those cases, but follow your own. And it's very important as an applicant to do a follow-up with the department within 7 to 10 working days. Umuntu submit application and then they relax. When they relax, they assume the department is going to chase after them. Department is not going to chase after you by calling you and giving updates. If you feel good within 10 days you didn't hear feedback, you call 0800 030007 if you have submitted your application on U-filing. If not, you can go to the Department of Labor Working Center, or you can call dial this number, *134 *843#. When you do that number, it will give you the options to say if you want to check your claim status, your payment status, your registration, if your employer did submit the declarations. Now, the difference between EU filing and USSD. EUSSD will show you the recent declarations that were submitted by your employer, whereas EU filing will show you the entire history of your previous employers. Does it make sense? So EU filing, it will show you the history of your employers since 2018, and then USSD will only show you the recent history that was submitted by your employer. So you might see the one that they were submitted recently. You might not see the one for 2019. You might not see the one for 2020. You also have to call that toll-free number just gave to you. And EUSSD, you can only make one transaction within 24 hours. Yeah. You don't have to make a multiple transaction. It will end up locking you out, and then you'll get the status that will say, you cannot use this service until the next 24 hours. It's because you've been multiple sending transactions. Whereas you filing, you can, but once it gets congested, it will have a system glitch. So we always tell them, give the system some time to breathe, give the official some time to work on your application. 7 to 10 working days, do a follow-up. Okay.
I have a quick question. I hope you'll be able to help us. Someone says, good afternoon, family. What if baby is born premature and mommy was still at work?
Yes, you can. If for the maternity in particular, and I also realize that babies don't even know they can submit application for paternity. So if employee is just giving birth, they can also claim for paternity benefit, and thus UIF does pay, provided you are you are a contributor. Yes, UIF does pay if it's a premature, if it's stillborn, and if the baby was a miscarriage, they do still pay you. Because remember, to submit an application for maternity, you have to submit it within the 3rd trimester. This is before the baby was born. So as soon as you submit it, they normally count it as a full term. So yes, they will pay you. And
I'm just going to ask, you were saying, I'm just going to ask you, thank you so much, Jean Hofmeyer, for that question. Mishi, afternoon family, please post UIF contacts on our Facebook page. Thank you, we'll do so. I think I'll inbox them to you. I'm going to ask you to go through your contact details once again before we wrap up.
Okay, we are on Facebook with the C for Charlie, N for November, and B for Bravo. CNP Community on Facebook, CNP Community on TikTok, and CNP Community on YouTube.
All right, and contact details?
And for the employers, they can call us on 072 709 0516.
072
709
709
0516.
So this is for the employers?
Yes.
The last number again, 072 709
0516.
0516. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. We are out of time. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Mpho.
We really appreciate it. Michi, I've written those details down for you. Jean Hofmeyer, thank you so much. Hope you were answered. Much appreciated. And of course, a big thank you to Cindy Bonambi as well. Much appreciated. Of course, if you have any questions for her, you can send them through via 0826572729. We'll pick it up again next week, of course, with those specific questions so that she can assist. She can definitely assist you. I hope this helps. Mishi, I just sent it to you. It is 5 minutes before top of the hour. Johan Els is on standby, ready to take care of business on the other side of 3 o'clock. On the other side of 3 o'clock, news and so much more that is coming up on Radio Pulpit. I'm back again tomorrow from the hours of 12 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The Friday edition of Heart to Heart coming up tomorrow. Really cannot wait. Here's Gitjulise this afternoon with Joy Celebration. Do enjoy what is left of your afternoon.
Now, there you have it. We will continue to give you accurate, up-to-date information about UIF, and we will continue to answer some of your questions and queries that you have about UIF as well as about your applications. We will continue to clear a lot of misconception that you have about UIF. Please do continue to follow us on our YouTube channel. Do join our Facebook page as well as our TikTok.